The following video is for colleagues participating in formative peer observation. It has guidance for both observers and instructors being observed. Formative peer observation can be an excellent way to get another perspective on our teaching. A colleague's perspective can help us recognize gaps in information that we may have taken for granted, or help illuminate unrecognized strengths in our teaching. Like an article or chapter you've written and revised many times, it's easy for us to hear our own explanations so clearly. A peer observer can help point out the ways our logic might not translate to others. And acting as a peer observer for our colleagues can help us gain new insight into our teaching. Observing others can often spark a new idea or approach for our own courses. Formative peer observation is distinct from evaluating or ranking. It is non-judgmental, constructive, and facilitated dialogue. When you observe a course, you are only seeing a slice of the experience, so it's not possible to know everything about someone's teaching from this one encounter. However, the observation can be a starting point to a broader conversation. Peer observations are most effective when they begin by asking the instructor being observed what aspects of the course, teaching strategies, or learning goals would be most helpful to receive feedback on. Because it's collaborative, the time and place should be mutually agreed upon. Step 1. Start with a short pre-observation meeting. Explain to your peer observer what you believe is going well with the class, as well as what your goals are moving forward. Are there any aspects of your teaching that you would like feedback on in particular? For example, how well is an activity working for addressing a particular course goal or outcome? Are you trying something new? Do students seem engaged? How is a particular tool or feature working? These are all great topics to help guide a peer observation. The observer may want to gather additional information to provide context for the observation. For a class meeting, an observer may want to know how many students will be present and some of their demographics. For example, are the students freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, or a mix? Are the students majors or non-majors? Are the students at the undergraduate or graduate level? For an online course, an observer may also ask the instructor to briefly guide them through their Learn course. For example, where is the course homepage? Where can the syllabus, course map, and course schedule be found? How do students access the course content? What are common tools or activities that students are asked to engage with, such as discussion boards, journal reflections, or quizzes? Observers, make sure you understand the goals of the class you are observing and have access to any materials students will be using to prepare. Ask clarifying questions and use examples to make sure that you and your colleague are on the same page when you talk about big concepts like student engagement or critical thinking. Step 2. During the observation, whether you are observing a single class session or looking at an online course, start by considering how you'll take notes on the observation. You might want to look at things as basic as the readability of the instructor's materials or eye contact with students, and as complex as student engagement or opportunities for active learning. For a class meeting, an observer might simply document what's happening in the course every 3 to 5 minutes. What is the instructor doing and what are the students doing? For an online course, an observer might want to look at a module or unit for the ways students are engaging with the content, the instructor, and one another. This is a great time to tap into your curiosity about what's happening, rather than shifting to the role of expert. When observing, we can sometimes mistakenly think we know more about a scenario than we actually do, almost like fans at a sporting event who want to call the next play or correct a referee. Step 3. Schedule a post-observation debriefing as soon after the observation as feasible so you can discuss and reflect. Observers begin by asking the instructor how they think it went. What did they feel good about? Was there anything that surprised them? Observers can then share their observations and offer follow-up questions to gather more context and create a space for reflection. Observers might ask, "Why do you think this was happening?" Or, "How might you do it differently in the future?" At this point, observers can also share any recommendations they might have. If done well, this dialogue can benefit both the instructor being observed and the observer as they reflect on their teaching practices. If you are looking for resources after your observation, please visit the Center for Teaching and Learning website.